Hi, I'm John Weeks, and this is the Standard's Tech and Science Daily Podcast. Coming up, is having a glass of wine a day actually good for you? But first, Crowdstrike, the cybersecurity company whose software update caused global IT issues last Friday, has issued apology vouchers to its teammates and partners for the additional work they did to fix the problem. People were offered $10 Uber Eats gift cards, but awkwardly, for some, there was yet another issue: they didn't work. TechCrunch, who originally reported the story, said they tried using one of the gift cards, but an error came up on Uber Eats, saying it's been cancelled by the issuing party and is no longer valid. In a statement to Sky News, a Crowdstrike spokesperson said Crowdstrike did not send gift cards to customers or clients. We did send these to our teammates and partners who have been helping customers through the situation. Uber flagged it as fraud because of high usage rates. Now, one of the most iconic dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, has just got a lot scarier. Researchers in Canada and the UK have suggested the T-Rex might have been 70% heavier than previously thought and 25% longer. They used computer modelling to work out the average size of a T-Rex based on existing fossils, and then estimated what the largest possible example could have looked like. Fossil records suggest that approximately 2.5 billion T-Rexes once lived on Earth, but just 32 adult fossils have ever been discovered. According to the model, the biggest T-Rex examples could have been 15 tons, making them heavier than an average US school bus. Sticking with fossils then, a young boy has discovered an incredibly rare mammal fossil by chance while working through sediment during an activity held by the Natural History Museum.
So we're really keen to keep this kind of activity going. So it's something we've been doing at places like the Lyme Regis Fossil Festival for many years now. And we find these rare kind of fossil mammals and also fossil reptiles infrequently, so not that often. So we're keen to keep this kind of activity going so that we can find more of these really amazing fossils.
Dr. Neil Adams, curator of fossil mammals at the museum, said the boy made the finding while sifting through soil taken from Abbey Wood in London, a site well known for similar discoveries. Dr. Adams told us the fossil he found is the tooth of a small animal called the Prototomus.
It was a small carnivorous mammal that, in this particular one, lived in the southeast of the UK about 55 million years ago. And it would have lived something like weasels that are around today, things like mongoose, these kind of cat-like animals like civets. It would have been a small predator going after and hunting other small animals, things like rodents, birds, other reptiles, things like that.
Dr. Adams told us what else they're keen to find more of.
Animals like Prototomus, these carnivorous mammals which would have been relatively rare in the landscape, so we don't often find fossils of them because they are quite rare. We would love to find more of those, and in particular, more of their post-cranial body parts, so their bones, things like that, because we often only find the teeth.
Now, if you're worried about artificial intelligence taking over your job, this one's for you. A study commissioned by Google has found that 61% of all UK jobs have the potential to be significantly enhanced by AI. The study found every sector of work will be impacted in some way by the tech, with office workers and administrative roles the most likely to be affected. In response to the research, the tech giant is trying to help workers learn to trust the new tech and boost their AI skills with a range of pilot schemes. Coming up, is London's ULEZ scheme really working? Plus, why a glass of wine a day may not be as good for you as some research suggests. Stay up to date with the latest tech and science news by hitting that follow button. Welcome back. A report from City Hall suggests the London-wide expansion of the ultra-low emission zone resulted in a better-than-expected reduction in toxic exhaust emissions from cars and vans. Data shows that it helped to reduce the amount of the toxic gas nitrogen dioxide detected at the roadside in outer London by an estimated 2.7 to 4.4%, up to double what was predicted. It means around 5 million more Londoners are breathing cleaner air since Mayor Sadiq Khan chose to press ahead with the ULEZ expansion, the world's largest clean air zone. According to the report, the combined reduction in nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide emissions is equivalent to removing 200,000 cars from the road for a year. A giant super-Jupiter exoplanet has been discovered orbiting a nearby star. It was spotted and imaged using the James Webb Space Telescope, identifying the gas planet as very bright and cold, with a mass more than 6 times that of Jupiter. It's been given the catchy name EPS-IND-AB, and it revolves around the main component of the nearby triple star system, Epsilon Indi, which is only 12 light-years from Earth. The giant planet needs around 200 years to orbit its star. And finally, it turns out a glass of wine a day may not be as good for you as some research suggests. That's according to a new study, which says the research indicating that it may be beneficial to drink small amounts of alcohol are low quality and often compare moderate drinkers with those who've had to give up for health reasons. Dr. Tim Stockwell of the University of Victoria's Canadian Institute for Substance Use Research analysed the studies and said a handful of higher quality studies that made sure former and occasional drinkers were not considered abstainers didn't link moderate drinking to a longer life. He said there is simply no completely safe level of drinking. You are up to date. Come back at 4 o'clock and search for The Standard Podcast for your essential guide to the Paris Olympics this year. We're back tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. See you then.